almost Halloween, folks. How you doing? It's Carolyn here. I know I haven't been checking in that much, but I have a lot of things I am working on. I did want to bring something to your attention, however, and it is actually pretty easy to do it visually, so I thought I'd give you a little no face-to-face with me time so that you can see my point. We've got a big problem in this world, in politics, in daily life, and definitely in genealogy. And that is with people who don't want to do the work. They want to accept blindly things that other people have stated without doing any research to see if those statements are true, and then assert that stuff as fact. Now, particularly, I'm sure that you know that white folks love to be descended of Native Americans. And for that matter, so do black folks. There are independent reasons for that. White folks are in the majority and always have been in the United States. That may be changing, but historically that's been true. And apparently we're bored with ourselves. And I mean, this is me too, to a certain extent. I was definitely disappointed when I found out that all of my family came from Northern and Western Europe. It just seemed flavorless to me. It seemed uninteresting. Of course, if you're bored with your own genetics, that is a sign of not only privilege, I would say, because you've been able to find out that much information thus far, but also that you're in the majority. Because if you're in the minority, I don't know, I can't explain it necessarily. I hope that you can understand what I'm saying. But there is a majoritarian way of thinking that says, well, I really need to be more like these people over here. And if I borrow their information, or maybe steal it, and put it on my tree, then it's really okay because it serves my needs and my purposes. In military life, there's something called stolen valor. And what stolen valor is all about is that somebody who did not go to war or did not serve in the military claims to. And maybe they make money off of it, and maybe they make a name for themselves off of it. But this is the genealogy equivalent of stolen valor, because few are called to serve in the military, right? And it takes a special kind of person. Well, in American colonial history, I don't know. I'm not seeing or hearing, as I'm reading, that much about a lot of intermarriage between early white colonists from Northern and Western European countries. And when I say that, I'm talking about like 16th century, the 1500s. I'm talking about, which would have been like, Virginia Dare and the Roanoke colony, or after that, subsequent ship landings like the Mayflower, the colonization of Jamestown, that kind of thing. So, having said all of that, I was in a group on Facebook for Mayflower descendants, and I have to be really careful about these groups. I really shouldn't join them at all, and I'm basically unjoining all of them that I belong to. Most of the time, I'm a fly on the wall because I want to learn whether or not things that I have found are true, and whether or not I really am descended of some people who came over on the Mayflower. I know that I am definitely descended of people who colonized Jamestown. That's an easy one to prove for me. Maybe this group wasn't about the Mayflower. No, I guess it was about Jamestown. That's right. Okay, so this is what happened. The guy who was posted screenshots and stuff like that, and he was asserting that he was a descendant of this person. Let's go here. Nickety Powhatan, or Princess Nickety Powhatan, or Princess Nickety Mango Pisamon. She sweeps the dew from the flowers, being the English translation of that name. And we've got a bunch of illustrations that have nothing to do with anything. And what he cited was he actually took a screenshot of that. Here we have more of them and more of them. GenieNet, MyHeritage, these are all compilation sites, right, where people put in compiled family trees that don't necessarily have any sourcing. We don't know whether they have sourcing until we look at them individually. Here's another MyHeritage. Here's Find a Grave, which is completely unreliable because it too is a crowdsourced site. Then we've got personal blogs of all kinds, absolutely useless. And then we keep going. And there is a wiki tree entry for this person, and that's what he was taking a picture of. Seriously, look at this. I mean, thing after thing after thing. It's just, it's gossip. It's online gossip. And so I said to the guy, look, when you research, you have to be sure that you're looking at solid sources. And I've looked through all of the sources that I can pull, and none of these are good sources. And Washington Post, my goodness. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to change the search term slightly. And I'm going to add wiki tree. And see what it pulls, because this is where it went. There we go. Okay, so we're back where we were. So here is wiki tree. Let's see what it says about this particular person. So he took a screenshot of this, and then he took a screenshot down here, this here, because he wanted to prove that he was related to these people who are mentioned in these footnotes. Here's the problem. The very top, which he did not include in his quote argument unquote in this Facebook group, was research suggests that this person may never have existed. See the text for details. That's a pretty big problem. It's being worked on by the Native Americans Project WikiTree. And it is protected by WikiTree's Native American Project because of unsourced claims made about relationships to known Native Americans. If you want to piss off the Native American community, claim one of their people as yours and put bogus sources up. That's a really good way to make people mad. It's also the worst kind of research possible, because it's not research. It's not research. Googling is not research. It's the beginning of good research, but it's not research. The thing that I would consider to be research would be going to all of these various sites and seeing what they say, and then weighing it out, and have no preference one way or the other. You know, that's the thing that's important. Now let me show you. I listened to this today because I'm not really a Tudor era fan, but the era directly preceding it, of the Plantagenets and the Cousins' War and everything like that, I am really invested in understanding that time, partly because I traced myself back to some of the participants, and that was with real documentary evidence. Anybody who is descended of Lord and Lady Calvert, the Baltimores, or Lord and Lady, Baltimore, the Calverts in Maryland, they too are directly descended of just a whole raft of Plantagenets and Woodvilles, for that matter. So I was listening to this because I hadn't listened to it yet, and it's a wonderful channel called History Calling. And the woman who does this is just, she really works hard to get her information right. And she proves some things and disproves other things and simply leaves others in limbo because she can't find enough information to go one way or the other. That's correct research. She's not a genealogist, she's a historian. So what we need to do as a genealogy community is make very, very sure that we are using the high standards of historians in order to process information, assess it for its truth, it's fantasy, it's fallacy, whatever. And then utilize it, make a note of it as a maybe, or simply throw it out. It depends on what you're looking at. It depends on how strong your evidence is. I'm going to put the share. What am I trying to say? I haven't been thinking very well lately. I'm sorry. The clicky mode. You can click on it. The link. There you go. I'm going to put the link for this in the notes so that you can actually watch this 23-minute and 32-second tour de force, as far as I'm concerned, of how to really consider the serious existence or non-existence of a person, evidence, proper evidence, what you should take seriously and what you should not. It differs from period to period, certainly. Things like she talks about, it would not be unlikely for Catherine Parr's daughter to have been married off as a young child and have her go to the household of her parent or her in-laws. That was a thing that was very, very common in the, 14th, 15th, 16th centuries in Europe. They would marry kids off very young in order to secure fortunes and ties between families. So she talks about that. Now, obviously, that's not something that would apply today, although I know that there is such a thing as child marriage in this modern world. It's not real common. In fact, it's mostly illegal, I do believe. You can correct me on that. Let me know if I'm wrong about that in the section below, in the comment section. But anyway, I really wanted you to know about this, that it is imperative that we do the work of historians, not just fantasists who are trying to knit together some adorable little lace collar that looks like it should belong, but it just absolutely doesn't belong in the wardrobe. You know what I'm saying? So utilize this particular video as a guide. She's absolutely wonderful. I recommend that you watch and listen and take notes, because she establishes how it is that you do research on an absolute unknown. Okay? I hope that this is helpful to you, and I will see you soon. And that's that. So if I don't talk to you first, have a very happy Halloween. That's an awesome day. And I'll be talking to you when I talk to you.